Ghost of Yōtei was at the Game Awards for, I think, what, one or two nominations. It left with 0 wins, but we got some good memes out of it with Erika Ishii, who eats like a freaking sloth. And honestly, just on appearance alone, looks like she really let herself go. And I genuinely wonder if the stress and pressures of the life that she's been living is starting to get to her. I said, imagine knowing you're on camera for a nomination and pounding your face with popcorn repeatedly, having it spill all over you in the process. So she is pounding the popcorn. I don't know if it's like a nervous reaction or like a nervous tick, but look at her, look at the camera, give the eye look, give a little shake of the head, and then continues to just pound popcorn into her face. Like that's one of those, you're letting people know that you know you're on camera. And then you continue to just completely embarrass yourself. Like, if you're going to do that, like, can you like close your mouth when you chew? It's really fucking weird. Really weird. And Hassan says, she thought she was going to win. I don't know about that. I think she's just very out of character and nervous. I think there's a lot of nervous eating going on right now. Not just tonight, but just in general. Pirate Nation. Ghost of Yōtei won no prizes at the Game Awards. That's quite the picture, by the way. There's so many pictures of her. They're just awful. Like she's just ugly. I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm just like, she's just ugly. I don't know what you're supposed to like. Are you supposed to like not acknowledge that she's just not good looking? It's very weird. And the amount of caked on makeup and eyeshadow and the hair blowout, it looks like a massive firecracker blew up in her face like a cartoon. And then she used makeup to cover up the dirt from the firework explosion. That's what I'm getting when I'm looking at this. I'm like, that's what you look like when you do yourself up. What do you look like when you don't do that? Furtada. Ghost of Yōtei got exactly the amount of awards it deserved. Endymion. Ghost of Yōtei gets 7 nominations. Jeez, I thought it was 2. 7 nominations. Wins nothing at the Game Awards. Antifa supporter lead actor surprised while looking like a Disney villain that she lost. There is true justice in this world. It really does feel like we're watching like a Disney movie that is just like the bad guy loses at the end. It's like Asian Cruella de Vil here. Pony's Pusher says, who the hell did this? Laugh my fucking ass off. How it started. Most nominated publishers. 19 nominations. Sony Interactive. Game Awards 2025. Sony Interactive. 0 wins for the entire night. 19 nominations from Sony, which they cleaned up the Game Awards last year. They won so many awards in 2024. 19 nominations this year, leave with 0 wins. That's impressive, to say the least. Kyle, many people will play Yotei only if it's included in their pre-existing Game Pass PlayStation Plus catalog. There wasn't even a trailer for the imminent free Legends mode. It's a very good point. When I was there was a couple moments where they tried pushing the game or they started showing video clips of it. But by and large, it was non-existent the entire night. Massive showcases for the 6 nominees for Game of the Year the entire time outside of it. But during the show, very, very few updates to it. Jay Viper, critical Erika Ishii update. 0 award. I'm telling you guys, the meme game from what came out of this last night is going to be pretty legendary. I made one myself. And I copied Jay's format. I said, critical Erika Ishii update. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Oh, man. Bongo Fett. They could save a buttload of casting her in the upcoming Miss Piggy movie. Ghost of Yōtei fails to win a single award at the Game Awards 2025. History repeats itself after Spider-Man 2 suffered a similar fate in 2023. Story highlight. This is a heavily AI article, by the way. I already read through it earlier today, and it tries its best to paint it in a positive light. But anyone who knows anything already knows that this game is not doing very well at all. Ghost of Yōtei was nominated across 7 categories at the Game Awards, including those for narrative, art direction, audio design, and more. The title failed to secure a single award and went home with 0 wins. Previously, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 faced a similar situation when it failed to win a single award in 2023. Weird, because didn't Sweet Baby Inc. have something to do with Spider-Man 2 and the DEI injection with that stuff, or was that not? Ghost of Yōtei marked the much anticipated sequel to Ghost of Tsushima earlier this year. I don't know if I'd call it much anticipated. Again, this is trying to paint it in the best light possible. Ghost of Tsushima, as I've said many times, is one of my favorite games I've ever played. I was not anticipating Yotei whatsoever after I found out the direction they were going with the game, alongside many other people, which is fine. You don't have to play every game. I wouldn't necessarily call it a boycott per se. I just didn't feel interested in playing it. And other people felt the same way. And I think it's funny when there's all these articles coming out from the Journal Mafia. They're like, oh, the boycott failed. It sold over 3 million units. Meanwhile, Ghost of Tsushima is outselling it or outpacing it by and large. And sure, the game's selling, I guess you could call it a lot of copies. But relative to its predecessor, it is a massive disappointment. It's underselling what a legendary game that came before it did. That's not good no matter how you slice it. No matter how many times people in the industry or Colin Moriarty try to say, oh, no, here's why that's a good thing. It's not. I can promise you guys, if Jin Sakai was a protagonist and this was Ghost of Tsushima 2, the game would have sold double what it sold right now. This is a massive L, no matter how you slice it. Says, thanks to a strong critical reception and impressive sales early on, this sequel saw multiple nominations at the Game Awards 2025. Again, impressive sales compared to what? That's like saying if Grand Theft Auto sells 1 million copies in one day, that's impressive sales. That would be catastrophic for Take-Two Interactive for how much money they put into it. Now, again, they didn't put a ton of money into Yotei. They kept the budget, between 60 and 70 million, allegedly, or something like that when they put it together, which is the only thing that saved their ass on this. But still, it would have sold more if they went the direction that gamers actually wanted with this game, instead of shifting the narrative, moving the timeline forward a couple hundred years, and putting a girl boss in charge of it that happens to be LGBTQ and Antifa. Why it matters. PlayStation blockbuster titles have always been the center of the industry's attention, making such situations very surprising for general audiences. Yeah, anyone who's not paying attention was probably very confused coming out of this, being like, wait, wasn't that their big game from this year? Nominated for Best Art Direction, Best Audio Design, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Performance, Best Score and Music, Best Action Adventure Game. Loss. As shown in the image above, it secured 7 nominations at Game Awards. The title was not nominated for Game of the Year, but many still expected it to take home at least a few awards. No, they didn't. Again, this feels like such an AI-written article. Nobody expected it to go home with any. I didn't expect it to win anything. The competition was really good games that didn't have the controversy surrounding them. Why would this game beat those other games out? Especially when Expedition 33, which was sweeping pretty much everything, why would that lose to it? How would that lose to it? The only one that I thought they might have a chance to win was Erika Ishii as the main actress, because for obvious DEI agenda reasons. When that didn't happen, that signaled to me that the Game Awards and Jeff Keighley in general is changing the direction of where he thinks the industry is going. I think that is a massive signal to the entire community of, okay, we're actually getting back on track now. This This is progress. Let's not try to fuck this up in the future now. Let's keep this going. This is good. In Ghost of Yōtei's case, the title presented a well-rounded sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Unfortunately, it seems to have done little to stand out in a year full of fantastic offerings like Silksong and Expedition 33. Of course, this is not the first time a major PlayStation blockbuster has gone home empty-handed. The Game Awards, back in 2023, Marvel Spider-Man 2 suffered a similar fate with no awards. And a shocking twist of fate, Spider-Man 2 was also nominated across 7 categories and won no award, much like Ghost of Yōtei. I mean, it couldn't have, as Furtanga said, it couldn't have been more deserving of not winning anything. It was amazing. Very, very based and great to see. And I was genuinely excited. I don't usually root for like the downfall of a game, but when you're actively pushing against the video game and its natural evolution of creativity, and you're inserting DEI agendas and you're pushing that as the main focus of your game, I'm going to actively root against your game because I do not want my industry to go that way. Now, people are welcome to disagree with that. That's what I'm here for. That's why I do YouTube, because I love the conversations about what makes gaming, what makes it great. And I feel like this whole DEI insertion over the past, 5 years at this point, has really been detrimental to the entire industry. Massive layoffs that we're seeing right now across the board. Studios closing, huge acquisitions, a bunch of people that are DEI injections or, in this case, an Antifa member, people that are part of pushing the message, all those kind of things happen. It's like, no, we aren't going to stand for that anymore. And the direction of the industry, I'd like to think, is finally healing. And it's great to see. And overall, my experience being there in person last night was epic. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun. It was a great award show. And it was even better to see this game not win. Love to see it. That's, by the way, that's why they hate me. Because I actively root against some of these games. That I actively root against people. And they're like, you can't do that. You're a bad person because you're rooting against another person. It's like, okay, so I'm not allowed to have that opinion. So what you're saying is I disagree with the message you're pushing, and that makes me the enemy of you. Gotcha. All right, that tells me all I need to know then. Sergeant Sapien for the 5-banger. She's like Elissa, making herself intentionally ugly and obnoxious for attention. That is a fantastic point. There's got to be like a clinical diagnosis for girls especially. I'm sure guys do it too. But for some reason, girls seem to do that. Like just to like doll themselves up to the point of looking so ridiculously bad that they think they stand out. What's that? Lady Gaga does that a lot too, which is interesting because I think Alyssa really likes and looks up to Lady Gaga, which would explain that. Devil King Libe for the 5-banger. She's cosplaying as Marv. I was going to do that. Oh my God. So last night when I was too tired. I saw the picture last night. I was going to bed. I was like, oh my God, that looks like Marv from Home Alone. And I was looking on Google to find the picture and I couldn't find it. I was going to put them next to each other. And I was like, I'm too tired to do this shit right now. And I went to bed and I was like, I'll do it tomorrow. So you just said exactly what I was thinking last night. That's hysterical. She's cosplaying as Marv when he was getting electrocuted in Home Alone 2. That's how you know she looks like it, if we both thought that. Maybe that's what she was doing.